In the heart of Victorian England, where grand estates stretched as far as the eye could see, a young woman named Lady Isabella lived a life of wealth and privilege. With her striking green eyes and long brown hair, styled in elegant ringlets, she was known for her beauty and grace. But behind her delicate exterior, Isabella felt trapped in a life chosen for her by others. She longed for freedom, for passion, something more than the world of rules and social expectations that surrounded her. One sunny afternoon, seeking a moment away from the endless obligations of her family, she wandered through the estate gardens. As she approached the stables, she saw him. James, the stableman, was brushing down one of the horses. He was tall and rugged, with dark hair, a well-kept beard, and a muscular build from years of hard work. Isabella watched him quietly, drawn to the confidence and strength in his movements, unaware of her presence. She had never seen a man like him before, so at ease, so sure of himself. Her heart fluttered at the sight. Later that week, Isabella found herself passing by the stables once more, her curiosity pulling her back. She saw James again, this time repairing a broken fence. Summoning her courage, she approached him, her voice barely a whisper as she spoke. "It looks like you have quite the task ahead," she said, surprising herself with her boldness. James looked up, surprised, his deep blue eyes meeting hers. A spark passed between them, both feeling an unspoken connection in that brief glance. From that moment on, their lives became entwined in ways neither of them could have imagined. In the days that followed, Isabella found more excuses to visit the stables, each time lingering a little longer. She and James shared stolen moments, talking about their lives, their dreams, their hopes for a future outside the confines of duty and class. James confided in her about his dream of owning a small farm one day, a place where he could be free, and Isabella, in turn, spoke of her longing for a life that was her own, a life filled with passion and meaning, not simply obedience and appearances. With each conversation, their bond grew deeper, and soon the line between duty and desire began to blur. One night, unable to sleep, Isabella made her way down to the stables under the cover of darkness. She found James tending to the horses, the only light coming from a small lantern he had placed nearby. When he looked up and saw her, surprise gave way to a gentle smile. She asked him if he would take her for a midnight ride, something she had never been allowed to do alone. With a sense of thrill, James agreed, helping her onto a horse. Together, they rode through the moonlit fields, the world stretching out before them like a vast open canvas. The quiet of the night made it feel as though they were the only two souls alive, bound together by the magic of the moment. They rode until they reached a small pond at the edge of the estate, where they dismounted and sat side by side, the cool night air swirling around them. The moon cast a silver glow on the water, illuminating their faces as they spoke in hushed tones, their voices barely breaking the silence. Their hands brushed, and they turned to face each other, the air between them thick with anticipation. In that moment, without words, they leaned in and shared their first kiss, a kiss filled with the promise of a love that could never be spoken aloud. But soon, the whispers began. The servants noticed Lady Isabella's frequent visits to the stables, and it wasn't long before rumors started to spread throughout the household. They spoke in hushed voices about the young lady's secret meetings with the stableman, their judgment casting a shadow over the hidden romance. Isabella's father, too, caught wind of the rumors. Furious, he summoned her to his study, demanding to know the truth. With tears in her eyes, Isabella pleaded for him to understand, to see the love she had found. But he was unrelenting, threatening to dismiss James immediately, warning her of the disgrace she would bring upon the family. Realizing the danger to James, Isabella made the painful decision to end their romance for his own protection. The next day, she went to the stables one last time, her heart heavy with sorrow. As she approached, James turned to her, sensing something was wrong. With tears streaming down her cheeks, she told him goodbye, explaining the threat that loomed over him. He held her hands, his own eyes filled with sadness, promising that he would never forget her. They shared a final, bittersweet kiss, their hearts breaking as they parted ways, each knowing they would carry this love with them forever. Years later, Isabella returned to the estate, now an older woman, her once dark hair touched with silver. She walked past the stables, memories flooding back of the days when she had found Elle,